to another movie review with me, Cody Reed. This one is for The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. So this is the final part in the three-part thing, it's based on one book. Even though it's one book that's like 400 pages, it's three movies. This one again stars Martin Freeman as the Hobbit, Bilbo, along with the dwarves, Grumpy, Doc, Sleepy, I don't know, that's some of those names like Thorin, Borin, Eli, all these names that I don't really know. But it stars them. It's directed by Peter Jackson again, which has a fetish with the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and all the things that happen in Middle-earth. So this one starts off right where the last movie ended. So if you saw that one, you saw that Smaug was released and he's flying to the nearby town to basically destroy everyone. And Bilbo goes, "What have we done?" That's pretty much where this one just picks up right off. Now, the first part of the movie, you should know, just is like slow build up. There is some action scenes, and then after some different things happen, it's basically just slow build up for the first hour until the battle starts taking place. And that's really where the movie has its strength. Hopefully it does, because it's called the Battle of the Five Armies, so you wanted to have a good battle, and it does. There's a lot of really cool action sequences, a lot of the different shots or things happening in the battle. You have this battle happening between the dwarves, elves, men, orcs, and these armies coming together to basically take control of the Lonely Mountain. A few things though that you should expect coming into this movie, one of which is Smaug. If you really liked him in the last movie, he's not as much in this movie, that's all I'll say, but just don't be expecting a lot of this. This poster kind of threw things off a little bit for me. Smaug's not a lot in the movie, but do expect a lot of this guy. His name's Alfred. He was a little bit in the second movie, and anytime he's on screen, it really did not do it for me. The character was just like a comedic relief, and it kind of drew me out of the movie. Also expect a lot of this. Tauriel and her, her love relationship and the love story that she was happening with the Hobbit, and trying to figure out her feelings. Anytime that happened on screen, those were a couple negatives for me. I mean, there's a lot of good things with the movie, like I said. Actually, a lot of these guys. If you look, we have Bilbo, we have the king himself, Thorin, and also Barb. Anytime they were on screen, I wanted to see more of them, but because they had different storylines going, especially like I mentioned with Alfred and Tauriel, it kind of drew away from that. But anytime they were on screen and those characters were being focused on, I really enjoyed those parts. Another good thing with the movie, I thought, was it was shorter than the last two Hobbit movies. The first one was like 2 hours and 50 minutes. The second one was 2 hours and 40 minutes. This one was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So once you get through some of the war scenes at the beginning, deal with some of the slow build-up, they have to kind of tell some of the storylines in this movie, which will lead up to the big final battle. So if you haven't read the books, I'm not going to spoil anything else for the movie, but just expect, if you've seen the first two Hobbit movies, you might be wanting to see what happens with Smaug, what happens with this battle, everyone coming in together to the Lonely Mountain, and that's a lot of the strengths that happen, like I mentioned, with some of the characters and building up to that. And at least it was a little shorter. 2 hours and 20 minutes kind of made a good finale too, and wrapped things up well. So if you're on the fence about this movie, go see it. I mean, if you're a Hobbit fan, you're going to go see it anyway. But if you like the last Hobbit movies and you haven't read the books, you just like them as movies, you might want to go see it, because it was really good at some parts. Just don't go in expecting the whole storyline to be great, because there were obvious flaws in the movie. But overall, I think it did still a pretty good job. And if you like big fantasy war scenes, if you like Man of Steel with tons of action, that's pretty much what happens for like an hour of the movie, is like different types of action and different things happening. However, don't go see the movie if Smaug was your favorite character in the second movie, because I really liked his scenes from the Desolation of Smaug, but he wasn't as much in this one. Or if you like I mentioned, better storylines or different plots coming together. So overall though, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Overall, it did really well. There were just really obvious flaws. Tauriel, some of the CGI as well. It kind of looks like playing a video game. And Alfred, those did not do it for me, but those action scenes were still good, and I liked some of the other characters. But have you seen The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. What did you think? Leave a comment below and like this video if you liked it, but make sure to subscribe, please, so that you can follow me for any other reviews I'll do later on. And then lastly, if you have any questions, please email them to me at moviereedviews@gmail.com, and you could also follow me at Facebook and Twitter. I usually post some movie news and other little topics. Thanks so much for watching, and happy viewing.
Hello, this is Arnold. I went to go see the last Hobbit movie because I said I'd be back. And I am back. You can't go see the first two Hobbit movies without seeing the last one. And overall, good action movie. I mean, it's not as good as mine, but it was good. I give it 6 out of 8 biceps.